So I'm here to talk about, well, mobile fundamentally, but actually how the use of mobile can really be taken on in the advertising world, and it impacts in different ways. I'm going to be talking across 4 different areas: mobile landscape, changing the game, how mobiles and tablets coming to the world have sort of changed the proposition available to marketeers, the importance of putting mobile first, and finally, Google's view on the future of mobile. But I want to start with an example of how a mobile proposition can be advertised in such a way to make best use of media today. If you think outside the box and bring some fun to an otherwise purely functional proposition, you can do some great things. And because unfortunately I wasn't able to be here this morning, if at any point you witness something you've seen already today, please raise your hands and we'll skip straight through.
Where you been, Steve? It's been a long time, hasn't it, Stevie boy? We've been looking for you. Is this your wife? Pretty lady, Sarah, isn't she? Look at me when I'm talking to you, Steve. Look at me. Okay. Do you remember paying for a certain pizza last week? Extra pepperoni? No, that's because you didn't. My generous employer, your mate Gary, lent you something in the region of £4.25?
Yeah, of course, sorry.
Don't touch me, Steve. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to take out your phone. You are over 16, aren't you?
Yeah.
And download the app, Barclays Ping It. Then you're going to type in Gary's number and send him his £4.25. All right? Good boy. Right then, I'm off. I've got a piano lesson in half an hour. Oh, and Steve, say hi to your wife for me.
This video had viral potential, and from the first ad view, which was actually at the start of May, it's achieved 605,000 views. This is purely on YouTube, so it's not including where else it's been viewed, and the second highest portion of that was actually viewed on mobile devices, which is unsurprising. The mobile movement is a global phenomenon. From essentially 0 25 years ago, there are now 5 billion mobile phones in use, and 1 billion people will use mobile devices as their primary internet access point in 2012. In fact, these stats have probably risen somewhat since they were created, but it's pretty recent. In the US, we've already reached a tipping point. Mobile is now a mass market platform, as the number of smartphone owners now actually outnumbers the number of other mobile users. And nearly every major demographic group experienced double-digit gains in smartphone penetration over the last year. For college grads, millennials, and the more affluent, smartphone penetration was over 60%. We're actually fast approaching that tipping point in the UK as well, as is evident from these figures. The last 2 years has shown phenomenal growth in the smartphone adoption rate here in the UK. Globally, the rate of growth is such that we anticipate internet consumption to be more prevalent on mobile devices than on desktop by 2015. Although this may even be an understatement, as this graph suggests that we could actually reach that point earlier than that, potentially by 2014. The adoption rates of connected devices are unprecedented. Mobile devices are one of the fastest growing technologies of all time. What's even more amazing is how quickly these devices become essential to our lives. And if we look at how long it took other types of media to reach just 50 million users, we can see that the pace is only accelerating. Radio took 38 years, TV 13 years, the internet 4 years, iPhone, not including all smartphones, that's iPhone specifically, just 3 years, but tablets less than 2 years, which makes it the fastest growing consumer device in history. Last year, CTIA, the Wireless Association, found that there are more mobile devices than people in the United States. To add further context to this, 3 times more smartphones are being activated every minute around the world than there are babies being born. With this astonishing acceleration of products heading into people's lives and into their homes, one could expect confusion and clutter, but the reality is that mobile devices are actually complementing the usage of the internet via other means. Google search data tells us that desktop dominates during the day, and mobiles and tablets pick up the reins in the evening. So mobile devices have allowed for constant connectivity, with the consumer marketplace posing a great advertising opportunity. Tablets are a great example, as your company web offering doesn't need to differ from the desktop experience. And yet, due to competition in the search auction place, CPCs, or cost per clicks, can be between 10 to 15% cheaper. Competition aside, the location of usage for mobile highlights something quite amazing. 89% of smartphone users do so on the go, as might be expected, but 98% of users do so in the home. This makes it vital to be communicating with this audience on their preferred platform, but also it tailors the way in which you communicate. Such high in-the-home usage illustrates just how personal these devices are and have become, which means that you should speak to your audience understanding that. Where and when smartphone usage is taking place is one interesting aspect, one interesting learning, but even more so is the actual activity taking place on these devices. Shown here, browsing through to video views, 51% browsing the internet, 42% using a search engine, hopefully a particular search engine, 38% using an app, and 18% watching videos. All interactions on mobile are taking up significant cuts of the pie, and all of them offer unique but effective advertising opportunities. This is nicely illustrated here, where we can see a very welcome 28% of people responding to mobile advertising. A drum I regularly beat on this to our own advertiser community is that responses to mobile advertising don't always actually occur on the mobile device. Different business propositions offer different engagement options, and as can be seen here, the follow-up action could occur on desktop, on a phone call, in-store or branch, but in all cases, the actions should be correctly attributed to the mobile advertising campaign. So what's the impact to the financial services sector? Penetration is already at a point where developing a mobile strategy should be obvious, but in so many cases, companies can't see the wood for the trees. In this room alone, if we added up all of our devices, it'd probably be somewhere around 2 to 3 devices per person. In fact, I'd like to ask at this point if anybody feels they can challenge the rest of the room as to who's got the most devices. Is anybody willing to put their hand up and say? I didn't think so. So just for fun, I'm going to tell you what I've got. In my home, we've got 2 smartphones, 3 laptops, 1 tablet, and 2 toy laptops. So my home looks somewhat like this. But this isn't my home, although I do wish I would get supplied with a Google TV. The good news is that if you're not finding the consumer, you're trying to reach on one campaign, there is another screen to go and find them on. The bad news is if you just make one single bet, the chances of becoming much higher that you will actually miss out on your specific target audience. The probability of error and the probability of getting it right here is getting wider and wider. As marketeers, the opportunity is to have a 360-degree engagement with your consumers and extend creative concepts to wherever your customers are. This is huge. If you take online video, which is everywhere, by 2020, Americans will be watching more online video than broadcast TV. Today, 1 in 10 YouTube videos is viewed on a mobile device. The impact in banking is obvious when you know that search queries, illustrated here, for the finance sector are on the rise, with up to 27% actually being actioned on mobile devices. The red line showing smartphones and the yellow line just underneath showing tablets. But the opportunity is clear. It's representing a big search opportunity for reaching your desired audience. Mobile's importance to the banking sector is just becoming clearer and clearer. You have 32% UK penetration of mobile bankers, which in fact is probably more than that now. 15% make banking payments via mobile. Again, this is a figure that was taken before the birth of Barclays Pingit. We anticipate 50% of the UK to become mobile bankers by 2014, and for the next generation, those between 17 and 25, 25% of them decide on their current account based on the ability to have mobile banking. In fact, across age groups, this is true, as the number of people seeing mobile banking as unimportant has dropped from 75% to 39% between just 2010 and 2011. This year, the figure will surely be even smaller when we run the numbers, which will be at the end of this quarter. Different financial products require different mobile needs. The need for a mobile proposition for credit cards weighs heavily towards existing cardholders, with a still not insignificant 28% wanting to be able to apply for a new card. Whilst for auto insurance, you can see here that the desire is clearly in favour of the potential new customer. I don't know if you're able to read the chart there. So you have to be available for both new and existing customers. 74% of smartphone users do so whilst simultaneously consuming other media. The trend is clear that whilst building your advertising strategy across traditional platforms, you must make sure that mobile consideration is taken. In fact, it should be put first.
South Korea is a unique market. Tesco has been evolving itself, adjusting to the local market. It even changed the name itself from Tesco to Home Plus. And at last, it grew to rank number 2 in Korea. But Tesco had to overcome one obstacle: a fewer number of stores compared to the number 1 company, Emart. Mission: could we become number 1 without increasing the number of stores? We made an in-depth study into Koreans once more. Koreans are the second most hardworking people in the world. For them, grocery shopping once a week is a dreaded task. So we decided to approach these busy and tired people. Idea: let the store come to the people. We created virtual stores, hoping to blend into people's everyday lives. Our first try was subway stations. Although virtual, the displays were exactly the same as actual stores, from the display to the merchandise. Only one thing was different: you use smartphones to shop. Scan the QR code with your phone, and the product automatically lands in your online cart. When the online purchase is done, it will be delivered to your door right after you get home. People can relax more after work and on weekends.
실제로 보면서 사니까 진짜 더 좋은 것 같아요. 편하기도 하고.
Result: people can shop at Tesco Home Plus wherever they go without having to visit the actual store. Moreover, we could change their waiting time to shopping time. After this campaign, online sales increased tremendously. Through this campaign, 10,287 consumers visited the online Home Plus mall using smartphones. The number of new registered members rose by 76%, and online sales increased 130%. Currently, Home Plus has become number 1 in the online market and is a very close second offline.
So that's the first part of a battle that's going on in South Korea in the retail sector. Tesco trying to steal market share from Emart by using pretty simple implementation, simple QR coding. But I think we all suffer in the UK. The opportunity to get a delivery slot 2 hours after you make a purchase is pretty difficult with our opportunities here. The next example is Emart's response. They saw the opportunity, but their objectives were different. They actually wanted to increase footfall into their stores at specific times of day, but again, using very, very clever and innovative use of QR coding. I think you'll agree, gave them a great opportunity to seize some more market share back.
Emart is the Walmart of Korea, with 141 chain stores across the nation. However, Emart has a weakness. The sales during lunchtime decreased drastically. Mission: to increase sales during lunchtime from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Idea: give people a unique experience, only available during lunch hours. Install a shadow QR code using the sunlight and shadow, only available from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. This event is called Sunny Sale. How to: scan the shadow QR code from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Automatically skip to the Sunny Sale mobile homepage and enjoy special offers, including a $12 coupon. Purchase items on the eMart application, and they will be delivered directly to your home. People were delighted to find small lunch surprises and enjoyed shopping via their smartphones. The Sunny Sale event, starting from 13 locations, has been expanded to 36 locations in Seoul. Result: over 12,000 coupons have been sold. In February, eMart membership increased by 58% from the previous month. A 25% increase in sales of eMart Mall during lunch hours, and media coverage on the Shadow QR code promotion over the past few months. Also, the most notable result of the Sunny Sale was that it made people sunny for the day. Sunny Day, Sunny Sale, Sunny eMart.
I trawled YouTube and the internet to find decent banking examples, and I have to say, sadly, I couldn't find anything quite as innovative as that. Yeah, there's no reason why these kind of innovations shouldn't be implemented in the banking world, and hopefully they will be soon. And yet mobile's not always coming first. 72% of large online advertisers do not have a mobile optimized site, down from 79% last June. So progress is slow. I'm not sure what the percentage is for banks, but I do know that for most banks that say they do have an optimized site, it's true just for existing bankers. But referring back to the 27% of finance-related queries on Google coming from mobile devices, you